All right. We've got The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 11, right? It was 11?
Yeah, man. Bounty.
There you go. I want to say broken for some reason, but it's
telling you, man,
Bounty.
I was hoping Lorenzo Lamas was going to make a guest appearance. It'd be a nice callback to his bounty hunter drama from the 90s, Renegade, but it hadn't happened yet. So
Not yet, but you can always hold out hope. You never know what might happen, right? But so, out the gate, I'm going to say, I think we both agree, a really good episode. I really, again, am just loving this season.
I'm telling you, all the haters out there who jumped ship after Rick left, you're doing yourself an injustice. That's all I'm going to say. You know, give it a chance. Give it a shot.
Well, it's like a relationship, right? I mean, when you watch this show, you have a relationship with that show, and it's just like a relationship when you're dating someone. It takes work. It's not always going to be perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of like a polyamorous relationship. You know, there's multiple partners within this relationship, but who's to say you can't swap one out every now and then?
Just like JP's relationship. I mean, now we can't all be as happy and blissfully as in love as JP and his girlfriend, but nonetheless,
my poly. It's a nice little poly. It's a nice quad. But anyway, enough about my dick slinging.
And we are. If you don't know who we are the Podcasting Dead. Obviously, we talk a little bit about The Walking Dead. We talk about other stuff. I've been playing a few video games here lately. Did a live stream over the weekend. It was fun. Me and a few listeners just hung out, and I played Far Cry New Dawn. And one of our listeners named James, and I were both having a few drinks via the internet. So it was a good time.
Nothing wrong with
hung out with our good friend Jovi Gal.
Oh,
yeah, it was Sunday afternoon for her, but Saturday night for us.
Is that right?
She's in she's New Zealand's where she's from. So,
all right.
Yeah, really cool. Good time. But, so we're moving deeper into this Whisper War. We're getting closer and closer to it. What do you think of Alpha? Like, are you happy with her portrayal? What are you thinking?
Man, the deep Southern drawl threw me off a little bit. It's almost like she stepped back from the old South. But
like Colonel Sanders is gonna come out from the side and offer her some chicken.
But you know, when she's just like talking, like when she was yelling at him on the wall, I was like, "Good Lord, this is over the top."
Right?
But no, just like regular dialogue and stuff. Man, I'm digging it. I think it's a good casting choice.
I like the face makeup. Yeah, they say Samantha Morton is like, I've never really seen her in anything, but as you and I have talked off mic before, you know, there's a lot of times you watch shows and you really get into a character, and then when you go back and rewatch old movies or whatever, you're like, oh, that's, you know, I didn't even know that they were in this movie because you didn't recognize them then.
I'll have to check out her filmography.
But apparently she's been nominated for awards, or she's won awards. I'm not exactly sure of her background. I apologize, but I know it's a good one.
We'll do some research.
A lot of the other actors on set talk about how great she is to work with, because she's kind of like the female Rick, like a female Andrew Lincoln, I should say, because they say she really gets into her roles and is, you know, like a whole different person when she's on set, which is got to be kind of odd as an actor to be around. Like you and I know you as JP, and we have some beer, we podcast, whatever, but then if we were in a show and you were being someone completely different and I couldn't really get you to break character on set, I'm sure that would be a little odd.
Yeah, man, method actors are a strange creature.
True that. They really are.
But no, man, she's just intensity coming out of that Whisper interaction, man.
It's going to get ugly. Now, what I find interesting is that, and again, a little bit of a spoiler here, and I didn't say it at the beginning, and I shouldn't have to, but it's a review and discussion, so we are going to spoil the crap out of this episode. So, you know, if you've gotten this far and don't want spoilers, number one, anyways, just come back after you've seen the episode. We'd love to have you. But, and a slight spoiler for the comic here, but see, when the fair happens, for my fellow comic readers, it's Alpha that infiltrates it. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be, from the previews, that we're going to have some guy infiltrated, some guy with a cowboy hat and a beard and such. I forget you haven't seen this. JP doesn't really watch. You watch them on Amazon Prime typically the next day, so you don't really have to deal with the commercials, and you don't see like the scenes from next week and all.
Yeah, and I don't really seek them out. I like it. I like it fresh, nice and fresh.
That's how I like my apples.
I was gonna say lady toes, but you know, to each his own.
That's disgusting.
No.
Lady toes.
But look, it was, man, Have you ever used a baby as a human shield? That was crazy.
Not in recent years.
Nah, man. That
never.
was wild.
My girlfriend really was like, I can't believe they would do that. And I'm like, you do know it's a story. It's not a real baby. I mean, if we sat here and watched the baby get ripped apart, it'd be brutal. But at the end of the day, it's just a show. This is just a drama. This is an art form. It's that. But I thought that the baby was going to get eaten. I really thought they were about to cross a line they've never crossed before.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it was bad enough just to use it as a human shield, but just like that's their practice. If the kid is crying, when they're amongst the herd, you just lay it down and let the zombies feast.
I'm no expert on children. In fact, haven't even had one of my own yet. But right. I will say, I'm pretty sure most children all cry at some point in their life.
Yeah, man. I don't think there's a mute button. I don't think so. Like I said, I'm an only child. I don't have any kids.
She's very into like natural selection. It's like I don't think that's natural selection, quite frankly, because mothers are there to tend for their children. So perhaps you should have just left the woman with the baby behind. Mm-hmm. Maybe just been like, hey, you got a baby. You go sit this one out.
Yeah, dude. But man, how intense was that cornfield chase?
That was my favorite part of the whole episode. That and her and Luke's interaction. I thought that her and Luke's interaction, like him signing behind his back once he saw her, I love that, man. I thought that was so freaking cool. But no, Connie and the thing. I like how they like just took the sound away from the episode while she was running through to really kind of give you perspective as to like what she was going through.
Yeah, man, that was wild. That was it. Really turning up the horror movie vibes.
Really, but very much so. I think little touches like that are why I'm digging this season so much. The season seems to be a lot more thought out, a lot more care put into it, whereas it's some past seasons, even though you and I had our moments where we really liked the past seasons, they definitely felt a little bit more, even though it was so weird, they felt rushed and drug out at the same time, like you know what I mean, like the characters weren't really fleshed out. It really wasn't. And as if you didn't like Connie, even more now, I mean, she just almost died to save a baby that she didn't know. She just, you see what a good person she is. She ain't know that baby.
Could have been any baby.
Yeah, it won't her baby.
She scooped it up though, man.
And then Daryl and company for the win coming to the cornfield. I really didn't. I didn't expect that. I didn't think she was going to die, but I mean, then you just see Daryl and who was it? Was Tara with her and some other people. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
And Daryl, how about old Daryl getting more lines again?
Yeah, man. It's good to hear the voice of Daryl.
He's kind of like been like Bumblebee on the Transformers movies. You ever watch those?
I've seen some of them. Sure.
He just uses a radio to talk, but he doesn't really have his own voice. And it's kind of how Daryl has been for past seasons, where it's like Rick and everyone do the talking, and Daryl's like,
yeah.
No, Rick, that's a bad idea. Let's fight.
Man, I wish somebody would do some talking for Henry. I'm tired of hearing him. Tired of seeing him. Tired of seeing him, put his finger in the pudding.
I just don't like him, man. I don't know if it's that the kid's a bad. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I'd like to see him in another setting to see if it's the. I don't know. I don't like him. I feel like you've said before, he's like Carl Light. He's a
poor man's Carl,
right?
Absolutely. And I mean, Carl wasn't even that great. So I mean, to have like a substandard Carl, that's really saying something.
That's really going on.
In my opinion, Carl. But anyway. But yeah, man, just scooping Lydia up, unbeknownst to anybody. Like, come up with a plan, brother. A man without a plan is not a man at all. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's given us something to complain about, like, the last 3 episodes, maybe?
Since, like, his induction into
Since he showed up?
Yeah, like, little boy Henry.
Even as a little boy, yeah. He let all those damn saviors out of the pen. Yeah. He killed Gavin, and then he snuck out and got drunk and was stupid. And then he let Lydia walk around. I mean, really, if I sat down with a pen and a pad, man, I could just write an entire, he's terrible.
Yeah, dude, I don't like him.
Now, 2 of your own people are outside with their life in danger, all depending on the security of this girl, and you take her and leave.
Yeah, man, like I said, I mean, I would have been formulating a plot. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out once they realize that Alpha's daughter is Lydia, that, she's coming for her. So they should have had a plan hatched. Henry could have spearheaded it. And I mean,
well, even if she did tell Daryl that, like, that's not how they operate, she ain't coming, I still agree. I'd be like, we still have a mother's daughter, so we need to be just on alert in case. Or
absolutely.
I still don't think that they couldn't have taken the Whisperers. You know what I mean? It'd be different if the Whisperers showed up with some firepower or something. I mean, they all just seem to have knives and were standing out there. You almost could have just been like, we still got that 50 cal.
Yeah, and not only
that thing up.
If I was Daryl, I'd have been like, all right, once we got the baby, let loose.
Yeah,
I would have rained down hell as soon as the baby and my people were clear, man. Which
I was going to say, definitely got to get Alden and Luke out of there first before you open up. But I mean, still, it's just and Negan's words, the Giants' lady nuts on Alpha there, right? I mean, just walking up to a group with guns and, all kinds of unknown variables, and she's white. I love her. Wrong answer.
I would have had a ringer put in place for Lydia. Sent out the ringer with the bag over her head. I don't know, like headbutted Alpha in the crotch or something. I don't know, man. I would have just been like, so Lydia, let me get this straight, right? You don't want to go back with your mom. Okay, here's how we're going to do this. You're going to go with your mom. We're going to get our people back. The first chance because, I mean, it ain't like her mom was putting her in handcuffs or anything. Yeah,
she slapped her and everything. But, I mean, she's there of her own free will. The second you get a chance, man, just haul ass back here. Or, which, I mean, obviously don't just, like, turn and run. But, like, sneak away. If you are not happy with where you are, you've been with them your whole life. But if you're not happy with them, it's really the only way that everybody lives, unless you said, like you said, just as soon as they get as soon as the baby and our people are out the way, man, mow them down.
Yeah.
But then you would kill Lydia in that scenario. So you really got to be careful. But I would have just formulated a plot where she would have snuck away. I mean, obviously the emotional or the easiest thing to do in my mind, like my reaction would be, oh yeah, I'm just going to mow them down with like a 50 cal, be done with it. But then if you want to save Lydia, I'd be like, all right, look, if you make it back to us, you have a place here. But, I don't know. It just was difficult because they had two of their people. That's when you always have to be delicate.
Exactly. It was a delicate situation. And
there's lots you want to do, but you can't do because you risk the lives of your own people. And, I mean, these are two of your own. Essentially, you're trading two lives of people that you know and that you care about for the lives of, some girl that you just met.
It was tense. And that was what was so beautiful about this episode. You had that tense, and then you had the nice brevity with Ezekiel and company.
I like that. Yeah. I like that because you remember back in the day, that would have been an episode on its own.
Right.
The Ezekiel thing. And while it was entertaining and I enjoyed it, I do not think it would have been entertaining as an entire episode devoted to them getting the bulb out of a theater. Mm-hmm. That's why. And they've done that. This whole season, they flashed around to different things happening. Like, yes, that's what you've needed to do this entire time. And you would have, some of these episodes that people thought were boring wastes of time could have not gotten such bad reviews because we would have more interesting stories to kind of fill in the boringness there. But I like seeing Jerry and them dancing, man. That almost was Guardians of the Galaxy-ish.
Yeah, dude. It was a really fun half of the episode.
I really love King Ezekiel. I love Carol. I just love that whole group. And I really like Jerry, man. I feel like Jerry's going to die this season.
I was going to say, man, these good times with Ezekiel and company, it really feels like they're setting you up for a big fall.
Big fall, man. And
dark times are coming.
I really like Jerry. He's like I'm not a huggable kind of person. Now I do hug like my aunts and stuff.
Yeah, you got to hug every now and then.
I'm not a big hugger, but I will say Jerry's like, and a lot of my friends aren't really big huggers. Like we shake or whatever. But Jerry's like that one friend. If he was your friend, you would hug him whenever you left.
Oh,
you'd be like,
to, yeah.
I'd be like, all right, JP, shake your hand. All right, Matt, give him like dap. Look at Jerry and be like, Jerry, and
bring it in.
Big hug.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he's awesome. I really, really am worried what's going to come. Or maybe Jerry won't die, because can you imagine Jerry's reaction at the death of King Ezekiel? Especially in the way, if it happens the way that this big reveal of deaths had, without trying to give away who all dies. But if King Ezekiel were to fall, death was to fall in line with the big death reveal in the comics, can you imagine Jerry's reaction? I mean, like, he's going to be right beside Carol just as is broken.
Yeah.
What if they flip it and it's Carol that dies?
It's gonna be tough.
Carol versus Alpha action. It's got to happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I think so.
Beta. I think we're gonna see Beta next episode, which I am pretty stoked about.
Yeah, as am I. It's about time.
It really is. I definitely was kind of shocked that he wasn't like there with her outside the gates. Just kind of her enforcer, you know what I mean?
Bring your muscle.
Big, hulking, intimidating dude. I'm really excited for the dare because you saw the trailer. I only remember we did that one trailer breakdown and review, but that's pretty much all that you've seen. But remember, in that trailer, there was a brief scene of what looked like Beta and Daryl fighting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that fight. I just hope that it's, I want Negan to come along down the road and have his big battle with Beta because that is equally awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. We were talking off mic about how they kind of, with Lydia, they steered away from the sexual assault reason she doesn't want to be with the Whisperers.
Right.
And went more with just her mom abuses her, whips her, whatever. I really hope they stick with, Negan seeing like the Whisper rape that goes on because they're, like Alpha said, they're animals. Rape doesn't exist in the animal kingdom. You just, throw it on whatever you want to throw it on.
Right.
And, if they're not too fast to get away, and as we know, Negan's a consent guy. I mean, he has a code. So, and that plays a big part in his initial interaction with, well, not initial, but, what goes on with him and the Whisperers. And I hope they stick to that at least.
And not delving too much into the comics for those that might be like, what are they talking about rape? In the comics, a big reason why Lydia doesn't go, it's just because the Whisperers they believe that if someone can rape you and you're not strong enough to fend them off, then you're weak and that they've earned the right to do what they want. Just these very warped, twisted views.
Laws of the jungle, baby.
And so that plays a part in Lydia's story that we haven't heard her talk about that. And then also Negan has some issues with that, obviously. So that's what you hear us talking about. But I'm trying to think, man. I mean, I think... I guess there's a lot more to cover, but I think we've kind of skimmed the surface of touched a little bit on everything.
Yeah, Ezekiel's trying to get the Constitution signed. He's got whatever declaration was drawn up that Michonne had in mind. I'm
one of these that I agree with what they're saying as far as trying to bring joy to these people. Like it's almost worth dying to bring these people some joy, man. Because I've said, like, we've joked around about who would do what in the apocalypse, and we always have said Matt that used to podcast with us would be our cook because he's such a good cook and he makes stuff taste so good because as silly as it sounds, in a zombie apocalypse, people need good food to eat and not just the same old things just to kind of keep spirits high.
It's the little things, Yeah,
you need to find, initially you need to survive, no doubt. That's, but once you've started surviving for a while, you got to start finding ways to lift people's spirits and yada yada. So, I got the whole point of that episode. I didn't think what they were doing was stupid at all, but I was like, I swear if Jerry or Ezekiel dies doing this.
Right.
Because Carol's got that plot armor. We knew she won't die.
Yeah.
I was like, if either one of them dies for this, and when he dropped the bulb down into the theater, man, my heart just sank. I'm like, Jerry.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever be mad at Jerry, though.
But I'm glad they at least had some nice bubble wrap. Obviously, somewhere along the line, they found mailboxes, etc. And
right. At least they had enough sense to do that before.
Yeah.
But I love the music playing, man. Jerry, like I said, Jerry lip syncing. You can kind of see King Ezekiel getting into it.
Man. All this fun, man. It's leading to something horrific.
Carol's just like, what the is wrong with you guys? So great episode. What would you rate this episode? Let's put our fingers below the desk and bring them up. Ready?
I love when you ask me to do that. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm
Don't try to grab that. 4, yes.
Yeah, man, I'll give it a 4.
Yes, we both give it a 4. It's a good, solid episode.
Yeah, man, like I said, that sequence in the cornfield was awesome. The only detraction was Henry, and now Daryl and Connie have got to go out in the wilderness to track him down.
Someone just kick his ass, man. Somebody just kick Henry's ass. Yeah. I'm tired of this kid already, man. Well, every time there's a chance to make the stupidest decision, that's what I hated about the first Purge movie. It's like any decision that these people could make. I
haven't watched those.
They're terrible. Don't. The second one's okay. The second Purge is okay, but I didn't like really any of the other ones. The newest one that just came out was mind-blowingly stupid.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Sure.
I just really don't like those movies. I watched Happy Death Day to You. I had never seen Happy Death Day, and I didn't want to go see the second one because I hadn't seen the first one. My dad was like, I actually read they recapped the first one pretty good in this one. So anyways, they got me to go see it. I'm not going to lie. That's a fun movie. If you like slashers, it's a slasher, and it does not take itself too serious.
Right.
Like, it's a fun movie, and this is still The Walking Dead. This is not going to turn into a full-on review of the movie. But I will say, I like that the movie knows exactly what it is, and it has fun with it. You know what I mean? But It's an interesting concept, and this one, I don't know if you've seen the first one and not the second one. I don't know if the first one was all that emotional, but man, there's one scene that I almost felt like she deserved an award for, as far as it just like tugged on your heartstrings, man.
I'll have to give it a watch.
I enjoyed it, man. For like a $7 movie at the theater, that and a big old thing of popcorn, I had a good time.
Hey, man.
Obviously, that and the popcorn together weren't. So, and our theater now you can drink beer in. So,
wow.
Not here, but.
Yeah.
And then in this next state over.
Man,
but anyways, solid episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we forgot. The fair's on the way, which we think, all good times, but I think it's going to lead to some really tragic, terrible times.
Yeah, man. I think we're getting ready to walk into the darkness.
Really are. Again, my favorite things that I did like about this episode, I loved, like you said, I think I agree with you, that cornfield chase scene was just intense. Very well done and very thoughtful scene. Love the signing back and forth between her and Luke.
Yeah.
Just a good episode. Oh, and before we can't not mention the call back to Carl and what I think might be a little Glenn before we sign off.
Okay.
The Enid thing when she was talking to Henry, when she goes and finds him and he and Lydia's little love nest, or future love nest, and she tells him, she's like, I knew a guy with a big heart, blah, blah, blah. Obviously talking about Carl, but I felt like she kind of talked about Glenn too, because
probably so.
Glenn gave her that whole talk in season 6 about how when people die, the impressions they leave on us are what keep their memory alive. The way that they influence us into who we are is how we keep them alive, which I think is not just great for the show, but I actually think that's a beautiful discussion in real life. Just like Sasha's talk to Rick. And when he was having his dreams or whatnot, thought that was another really special thing. But yeah, so episode 11 has come and gone. We are moving on through season 9. I am loving every bit of it so far. I hope that you are too. If you're not, I don't know why you're still watching it up to this point and watching reviews and discussions. Consider subscribing, liking the video. We discuss a little bit of everything, mostly Walking Dead, but we do other stuff. I did a game stream Q&A this weekend with Far Cry New Dawn. Very impromptu, not planned. I was tired and I might have been drinking a little bit, but it was a good time. We enjoyed it. And we look forward to hanging out with you later this week. We'll be doing a mail call podcast this week, I promise. Also a Random Rambling Wednesday. So lots on the way and more Walking Dead discussion to be had. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.